Today we're looking at 5.3 acres of land for sale in San Miguel County, New Mexico. And in this video, I'll share the top things that could help you determine whether this property is a good fit for you based on my experience selling over 700 parcels of land. So let's start with location. Now this property is in northeast New Mexico, in between the border with Texas and Santa Fe. Now this is a very rural parcel. We are in the middle of still largely rural, undeveloped desert, in between Tucumcari and Las Vegas. And we're also not too far from Conchas Lake. It's about 20 minutes away to the east. Conchas Lake is a lake a reservoir run by the Army Corps of Engineers, and according to the Army Corps, it does have good fishing. So let's look at what the property looks like. All right, so as we can see from on the ground footage here, you do have that wide open desert space and feel here. There is not much in the way of development in this area. As I said, we're very rural, still largely wide open desert space. So this is a property for someone probably primarily looking for a recreational lot or a very affordable investment lot. I will say there are a few small homesteads here, so potentially an off-grid homestead lot, but this is again very, very rural. So even for an off-grid lot, it would be for someone who would be prepared to live truly off-grid, so like an hour away from the nearest town, off of dirt roads that are not necessarily maintained in the best condition. So like I said, primarily recreational, someone looking for RV camping, in general camping, just someone who wants to own a piece of New Mexico, or someone looking for an investment property. But as we can see here, you do get some views of the mesas nearby. You get the wide open space. The night sky here would be incredible, I'm sure. And you do have fairly close proximity to Conchas Lake for fishing. Now, the access point to the property is off of a dirt road here. This is the main road, Route 104. It connects the region to Texas, the rest of New Mexico, Las Vegas, New Mexico, and Tucumcari. You would turn off of Magnolia Road, which is one of the roads in the area that is in pretty good shape. You can see there are some homesteads off of Magnolia Road, and then you would take a dirt road from there. And as we can see from images, the access road, it does exist, but it is not in the best of condition, as you can see here, of condition. So you would definitely need all-wheel drive if you wanted to access the property. And ideally, you wouldn't go like after a storm or something. But this is, I shall say, a platted road, so it does have legal access. All right. That kind of covers general overview of the property. So let's get into what you can do with the lot. Now, as you might expect, there is no HOA out here. So no dues, no private committee you have to deal with when it comes to allowable uses. The zoning here is rural holding. So if we go to the zoning ordinance, rural holding allows all of the uses in the residential agricultural designation. And that's a very kind of broad permissive zoning designation. It allows for agricultural uses like ranch, farm, dairy, as well as rural residential uses like single-family homes and mobile homes. It also allows certain accessory buildings and structures, and you can store a trailer or a boat when not in use, as long as they're not being used as living quarters. So it does pretty much allow most of the major uses that someone looking to buy land in an area like this would be looking to use a property for. Also, according to our research, RV camping is allowed, so they're permitted for recreational use, typically for a period of 3 to 4 months. So you can't live full-time in an RV, but camping and recreational uses are allowed according to our research. Although, of course, I do always recommend that you confirm all building rules and regulations yourself with the San Miguel County Planning Department. Okay. So very like broad permissive zoning and allowable uses here. You can do, as I was saying, pretty much anything that I typically hear buyers for rural lots are looking to use a property for. Now, another nice thing about these properties is the property taxes are very, very low here. So they're only about $5 a year, which means it's going to cost you next to nothing if you wanted to buy this property and hold on to it for a while, whether it's because you want a long-term investment property or because it's going to take you a while before you can actually use the lot. So that's a nice thing about this area. And then, of course, as I was mentioning earlier, this is, if you ever did want to build this, of course, is an off-grid lot. You'd be looking at solar, well, septic for your utilities. All right. Now, I also want to call out a few other important characteristics of the property. These are things like flood zones, wetlands that are very important to look into when buying vacant land, to make sure, that you can actually use the property the way that you want to. Right. So as we saw from drone footage, this area is very flat. You can see from the contour lines here as well. Not much in the way of slope out here. And the approximate elevation is 4,400 feet. All right, now I'll note there are no oil wells showing up in this area, so that can be an important piece of information. Means unlikely anyone's going to be wanting to drill around here and disturb your property. It's also not in a special hazard flood zone, so that's good. That means, and then this is according to FEMA flood maps, I should say. So that means no additional requirements for flood insurance or elevating a building. And in a similar vein, no wetlands, also important because wetlands can make it very difficult to use the property. And you'd be surprised, even in the desert, as you can see around here, they do show up. Okay. And for these soils, so one thing I do like to look at before I purchase any property is whether the soils on the property, the same soil type is showing up on other soil types in the area. In particular, I like to see whether properties that have been built on have the same soil type, because that's a good sort of high level check to suggest that a property might pass a perk test. Now in this area, as I was saying, there are not many buildings, but you can see the whole area pretty much has same soil type. And we did see a few buildings down in here on the same soil type. So good sign per septic system. Now, as far as wells go, I will say I don't have too much information on average well depth here. So if you wanted to learn more about or try to dig a little deeper on potential well depth in this area, I would recommend contacting a few well drillers. You'd probably have the most luck looking for well drillers in Las Vegas and Tucumcari. So that's Las Vegas and Tucumcari are both about an hour away. You might also try contacting San Miguel County to see if they have information on well depths as well. All right. So that covers a lot of the basic details on the physical characteristics of the property. I do want to talk about the surrounding area in a little more detail, because I know that's very important too. So, oh, there's actually a home right nearby here. So yeah, there are a couple people building homes out here, as you can see from street view. All right, so as I was saying, the two nearby towns would be Tucumcari and Las Vegas. They're both about an hour away. There's also Santa Rosa, about an hour away. So these would be the closest spots for groceries. So we can check that on the map. Grocery. Yeah. So you'll have grocery stores in all three of those towns. Again, each are about an hour away. And then in Las Vegas and Santa Rosa, you have a hospital as well. So hospitals are about an hour away too. And then, of course, Conscious Lake is approximately 20 minutes away. Okay, so that covers, I think, most of the basic details about this property. And that would bring us to price, perhaps the most important detail. But before I get to that, I do quickly want to introduce myself so you know who you'll be working with. Now, my name's Erica. I am actually the co-founder of Goche Capital, and I have a company that sells vacant land. Our mission is to help people across the country become landowners and build their own version of the American dream. And we have helped over 700 people buy land at this point. You can find all of our properties at land.gocap.com. And we do work throughout the entire US. So if you're looking at states other than New Mexico, you can check out all of our listings at land.gocap.com. But today we're looking at property number 817 on our website. It's 5.3 acres in San Miguel County, New Mexico. And just a quick note, this is our internal numbering system. You're not going to see this number on the deed. If you did want to pull the property up in the county's records, or if you wanted to have a county official pull it up to do some research with them, you would use this number here, the assessor's parcel number. But to find it on our website, it is number 817. So we do have this property priced at $6,995 plus the $595 dock fee. Now, one thing I should mention is that I'm not a real estate agent. I only sell properties that my company owns. So that does mean you will be working directly with the owner when you buy from us. Also, we can offer owner financing on all of our properties, including this one. But when you go to our website, you won't see set owner financing terms. And that's on purpose. We do not have set owner financing terms because we personalize the owner financing terms to meet the needs of each individual buyer. And we do this to make sure that the property will meet your budget and will be affordable for you. So if you are interested in owner financing, please reach out to us and let us know what kind of down payment and monthly payment would work for your budget, and we'll come up with something that does try to get within your range. I do, though, want to be upfront about two terms. The first is we do say there is no living on or building on the property during the loan term. And this is for liability reasons, but you can use the property for recreational purposes and you can do minor improvements. So things like fencing and clearing, generally things that don't require a permit, as long as you're in compliance with all local rules and regulations. The other thing I'll say is there's no prepayment penalty, so you can always pay off the loan early and save on interest. In fact, if you pay off early enough, we'll give you cash back. So if you pay off in 6 months, you'll get 5% cash back on the purchase price. And if you pay off in 12 months, you'll get 2.5% cash back on the purchase price. Now, the other thing I'll mention is we do have an exchange guarantee that comes with our owner financing. And we put this together because I had heard from many previous buyers that one of their biggest concerns was buying a property that wouldn't end up working for them. So to solve for that, we do have the exchange guarantee. Anytime in the first year that you're financing a property, you can come to us and let us know you'd like to exchange the property for another one in our inventory. You do pay another dock fee, but once you do that, we'll move over all of your principal payments to the new property. And that way you know you get a property that really does meet your needs. The other thing I'll say is we do provide a landowner success bundle with every purchase. This is a set of 9 bonuses designed to help you get the most from your land. And these include exclusive discounts with mobile home dealers, monthly landowner Q&A calls with me, a complimentary vacation voucher, hotel savings card, and a free 30-minute architectural consultation with me, because I do have a background in architecture, as well as our homesteading guide, building and zoning guide, post-closing checklist, and exclusive neighbor lookup tutorial. So all of these do come free with every purchase. You get them at the end of when the deed is recorded. So that's either upfront with a cash sale or at the end of the loan term with owner financing. And if you are interested in this property, I do recommend the following 2 next steps. So first, hold the property on our website. And I say this because in the past, I would have some buyers take a few days to go visit the property or do their due diligence and come back to me to say that they're ready to move forward. But by the time they came back to me, the property would be sold. So to prevent this from happening, we did create a hold feature. The hold feature lets you take the property off market while you visit the lot, call the county, call us, or get funds together. It's only $50 for 2 days, and you can hold for up to 8 days. And we do have an automated process, so all you have to do to hold the property is click buy or hold, then click hold and go through the checkout process. So that's step 1, hold the property. Step 2 would be to book a call with me to go over your questions, next steps, and owner financing terms if you are interested in owner financing. So my personal calendar is at call.gocap.com. You can book a call there. I'll also say that if you are just starting your land search and you're not quite sure yet what property works best for you, you can also book a free land strategy call on my calendar. And during that call, we can go over your land buying goals and some of the top things I would recommend you look into whenever you look seriously at a property to make sure you get a lot that really does work for you. We can also go through our inventory if you would like to see which properties might make the most sense, but that's only if you would like. We don't have to do that. So you can book that free land strategy call on my calendar as well. And also, if you are currently looking at a couple different parcels, I do free property reviews on these live streams. So I am live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern. And if you have a couple properties you're seriously considering buying and you would like a free second opinion on any of them, you can join any day at 7 p.m. Eastern and leave your property in the chat, and I'll take a look at it for you after I complete the property of the day. The last thing I want to note is we do have a free land giveaway that we run just for fun. It's a promotion to get the word out about our company. The next one's coming up on July 4th. On July 4th, we will be giving away the lowest value property in our inventory live. And if you would like to be in the running for that, you can go to freelandgiveaway.com or just go to our YouTube homepage and go down to the free land giveaway video. It's 1 minute and it tells you how to participate. All right, so that's about it. Today we were looking at 5.3 acres in San Miguel County. And if you are interested in this property, you can go to land.gocap.com and then search for property number 817. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a